Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here, and guess what? I've got a holiday drop. We've got sweatshirts and super cute beanie hats and a few other things like ornaments. Oh my gosh, look at the cuteness. A snowflake with a snowman and little trees for the Sloan Zone. But wait, there's more. And a little heart with a, look, it's got the spool. You could hang this one up till Valentine's Day and beyond. And wait, there's more. And I've got a star with the sewing machine on it, and it's like the cross stitch kind of lettering. Isn't that adorable? Kate Spain designs all of this, and she is clever beyond clever. And the beanie is I'd rather be sewing, of course. So I am wearing the hooded sweatshirt. Let me just show you. So this is a size extra large. So it's nice and comfy and roomy, and it has a hood, and it's got a pocket all the way through. So, and it comes in several colors. I don't have anything yet in this sort of plum color, and I'm just loving this color. Plus it's a little bit different. I'm gonna have to get another one too though. Just have to get a second one. Okay, remember, if you're going out there to get these things, last time we had new notebooks, there's stickers and patches and tote bags and zippy bags and mugs. Oh, wait, there's one more thing that's new. So besides the insulated mugs, one more thing, a new coffee mug. It says stitched in love, merry, quilts, joy, peace, sew, love, stitches, happy. Look at that, look at that. Okay, all right, that's the holiday drop. So excited. This is just nice. I really like it. And it's finally cozy enough. It was a little warmer when I did part of this video because the sun was out and my space got really heated up, so I'm not wearing this for that part, but then I could put it back on again. The clouds came back. Okay, where are we at? We are on Hometown Charms. It's Wednesday, it's Block Wednesday, and our sew along. This is a free sew along that I do every Wednesday for, I don't know, I'm on my 5th year, I think, something like that. And so this week for Hometown Charms, it is all about what your town might be famous for. It could be something quite elaborate like, oh, I don't know, Mount Rushmore is in your town, you know, something like that. Or it could be something as small as your town is famous for having a garlic fest, or it might have the best, you know, biscuits this side of the Mississippi, whichever side of the Mississippi that might be. Anything like that. So here, the block that we're doing is big chunky trees. So we're doing 4 of them. And you can see on the layout that you downloaded, there's 2 will go on the top and 2 will go on the bottom. So let's just first go look at some, you know, color picking and things like that. New toys for quilters. So Kimberly Jolly at the Fat Quarter Shop has a new cutting mat that is a rotating one. And so I am going to be trying this out. I have, of course, used rotating cutting mats, but I just love the color of it. Teal. And so I'm just going to put this down and use it for whatever I'm doing and try it out. So we are, let's see, we are on the tree block, and that's pretty basic. I am going to use green fabric. Green fabric, there's 2 per tree. And I'll just mix them up. And then because there's 1 tree on there already, and I use the stem, here we go, I used the orange stripe for that stem, so I'm just going to keep that consistent. So these 4 trees, which are smaller, there's 2 fabrics each, and I might do maybe a light and a dark on each one, something like that. That might be kind of fun. And then there's 3 sets of light and dark. Is there another? No, they're kind of teal. Oh, here's another light. Okay, so I'd have to repeat one of the greens if I want, or just totally like do this, like put a 4th one like that, where I switch them, you know, so that they're a little bit different. Okay, and then the backgrounds, I am going to use a mix. Each one will have a different background. This is the
background that I bought to go for, you know, anything I needed. I'll use this one. I always think these look like carrots. They look like little carrots. So we'll use that background. And then I'm going to use ones that don't have quite as heavy a print. So that'll be the fourth background. Unlike this one. That one has a really heavy print. You know, it's really distinct. This one's actually more pink, so that shouldn't be with this section. This has a heavier print. So I'm going to use 4 of them that have a lighter print, and I could actually switch those little carrots out and do that. And I want to be sure, like, I don't have this wheat over here where there's wheat, you know. This stripe will be for when I take 2 and do it again. All right, so those will all be the trees. Now, while we're here, we put those over there. So while we're here, let's look at a little bit about sashing. You have the pattern for this. I've given you the layout pattern right from the beginning, so you have it. If you forgot to download it or forgot that you have it, go look where all your files are for this sew along, or just go download it again. And you can either do the sashing as a strip, or you can do them as a checkerboard. And I am going to go for a checkerboard because I want to add in black, and that's a heavy color. So I don't want that wider strips. So I have on page 4 the directions if you want to use a checkerboard. So I'm going to test 2 different options. So I have pink and black. So I bought extra of this pink. And I also have extra, I'm going to try pink and black and just put it up on the wall there. But of course I also have extra of the background. So my original idea was to use these 2, the background and the pink. But then I kept thinking and looking at these fabrics that it needs some black. There needs to be some black in there. And I just think this will be stunning. I think it will just pop it off the surface. And I want to keep it consistent rather than making it scrappy. I mean, I could make it scrappy. I could go through and do the black with a bunch of different lights, or, you know, a bunch of the other colors, but I really just think it's going to be nice to have it the same. But we're going to look at it. I have 2 of the strips. Those are 2 that are cut, and I already have 2 of them sewn. And I don't want to do a ton of work before I decide I like it. So I am just going to cut a few pieces. They're 2.5. Oops, this ruler is in my way. Do you move the ruler, or do you just kind of keep shoving stuff, hoping that it makes space? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So I will cut a few of these. Each one will be, you know, 1 stack. So let me just do 4. That's 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll put them in position and see how they look before I go ahead and do any more of this. Because if I decide it's too heavy or I don't care for it, I won't have done any more work. And anything here can, of course, go in my scrap bin for 2.5-inch squares, which is perfect. But I'm thinking it's going to work. Let's go over to the design wall. Let's take a close look at this because it's not looking how I was expecting it to. Here's the checkerboard, and of course it blends into that block, but okay, it blends into that block, but it's going to be in other spots, be across here, here, down here. So if it blends into one block, I'm like okay with that, but I'm not sure that I like the pink. Up here is the rectangles, and that's for the black. For black fabric, I think the rectangles are a little too strong. They need to be broken up into smaller pieces, the black. But I am loving the black, so let's go ahead and use my other thought rather was to use this background with the black. So there's the background with the black, and it just gives a little bit lighter feel. I think I'm going to have to go with that. I'm thinking I like that better than the pink. So I could do one of 2 things. I could cut up some more of the pink ones and try them, you know, across, you know, once I get the trees and just see what I think. But I don't know. Okay, I'm going to mold this over a little bit. The rotating cutting mat is really great when you want to move your fabric, but you don't want to pick it up. So you need to get it at a different angle. So I'll just show you here. I'm cutting for the blocks, for the tree blocks. You can see it here. I've got things over here on the pile. So I want to do a 4.5, but I didn't straighten up that edge. So I will pull it in just a tiny bit, just a fraction, so that I can trim that edge. And it's more effective for me to trim it after the first cut. So I'll do the first cut at 4.5, and then I can just rotate the mat and do the second cut to trim off and create a straight edge over here. And now I want to cut from the end, either end, but neither end is facing me. So once again, just pick up the ruler, and I can go ahead and trim, do a little trim on this side to cut off the selvage from that one end, and then go across and do my 4.5 inch square. And then this piece, I will do the 3.5 by 4.5. So there we go. And I need 2 of those. I don't think I can squeeze it out. This wasn't, I can squeeze it? Oh, I can. Yeah, one more. There we go. Squeeze it out. So I do need 2 more squares for this tree, and I'll get it out of the fabric.
Let me put the trees up. They are super fun because I just felt like our hometown needs trees. You know, my hometown has lots of trees. No matter which hometown it is that I'm calling my hometown, there's always tons and tons of trees. This, where I live right now, we have 2 great big oaks in the backyard. But my whole neighborhood, like I showed you from the drone view the other day on one of the videos when we had the drone up high and you could see all around. I mean, it's basically trees. We have lots and lots of trees for being a very urban area. So there you go. There's where they go. So there'll be blocks in between. And then, like I was talking about just prior there, all of the squares. So I'm just going to put the black and white ones up for right now, just to think on them, because even though I like the pink ones, they once they're up there, they were really not speaking to me. So I'm thinking now I will shift to the black and white. My very, very original was pink and white because that's what I bought extra fabric for, but I just really feel like the black is interesting for this quilt, and then I will do black binding. So I just think it's going to be a nice addition. All right, so hometowns. Let me tell you one more thing about hometowns. For me, I've lived in a lot of different places, and so one of the places that really is a hometown that I always think about is the last couple years that I lived at home with my parents, and that was in Brussels, Belgium. And so in Belgium, there is a little statue, so he's very famous, called the Mannequin Pis, and he is a little boy statue going to the bathroom, but it's not very tall. I have a link down in the description box and over at my website today, but he's not very tall, and he has outfits people dress him up in. Sometimes he gets taken, and then there's a big to-do to find him, so those kinds of things. And he's just really almost just the size of a smaller than a small child, in reality size. So now you also want to go to my website today and read about the hometown of some of our ambassadors, so that what they might have famous in their hometown. So that's really fun to see. It's always interesting because no matter where we are and how we've traveled, there's always interesting things in people's towns. And remember, Kendall, our ambassador, does videos for the for companion to mine, just making the block. So go check his videos out. What else do I have today? Let me show you the winner of the 80,000 subscriber quilt. That is Carolyn, and here is a picture of her. She lives where Lincoln Museum is, President Lincoln Museum is. That's the area of the world that she lives in. And so she took some pictures to show me just, her and the quilt. So happy you won that. Enjoy. Mwah. We got a couple other things here. The Virginia Quilt Museum auction for, it's a fundraiser where my quilts are up for auction. They all have really reasonable starting bids. So, that could be yours. But I thought I would go through every day or so as the auction is going and show you some of the quilts. So the first one we're going to look at is the picture of the Cherries Quilt. And this is a big, it's a pretty big quilt. It's like more bed size, and it's got that very exuberant gold and berry color, almost like this color, maybe a little bit redder fabric, which I love. It was kind of the inspiration for the whole quilt. And then the Sweet Life. And the Sweet Life is applique quilt with a Irish chain or a chain block, and it has all these different very sweet applique things on it. It's great for a nice cuddle quilt, or if you like to quilt hang your quilts like I do as wall hangings, it's fabulous for that. One other thing before we wrap up today is about spam. Okay. YouTube is horrible with spam, and they have these, I'm just going to put it up here. They have these things where they steal my image and they build a whole new YouTube site, YouTube channel, and they put my image, and then they write in my comments on my posts saying, well, so it looks like me, and they tell you to write them or text them or something to win something. Well, first of all, don't ever do that. If somebody leaves you a comment and says, at any platform, whether you're on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or wherever, if they're commenting in the, don't respond, because it's almost always 99.999% a scam. Personally, I will never do that. I will never show you that to you. If you go to this site, it's like zero. It has nothing there. And I have reported it. It usually takes a couple of days to take these down, and then it'll be switched over and show something else. But don't ever click these. Don't ever write to them, for God's sake. Oh my goodness, do not do that. Just ignore it, or you can report it. There's usually 3 little dots. You click that and report it. Okay, enough of that crap, right? It's out there. Somebody in our community communicated with them, but she stopped, so that was good, then told me about it. Don't ever do that. Just don't do it. Okay, we have the holiday drop. Yes, so if you want a hooded sweatshirt, so comfy. These really are comfy, and this one's an extra large. Like I said, that's what I'm wearing. So I generally wear larges or extra larges if the extra larges run just a little bit small. But it's comfy. It's not like it's tight. It's got room in here. I could double up and have something underneath. And you've got ornaments, and a cute mug, and a darling hat, which is, hey, we're all gonna sew, right? And make your blocks for today, make your trees. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.